friends. So I decided that today I wanted to just have a little sit, have a little chat, attempt to make a cocktail, okay? Oh god, I've literally got no ingredients. So basically, right, I decided, you know I love talking, okay? It's a talent of mine. We love a good chin wag. I've decided I'm gonna do a new little thing on my channel where like every 2 weeks I'm gonna basically just give my advice and my opinion on things. But also, I mean, I'm not like the best person to listen to because I actually no, you know what, to be fair, I've made some mistakes in my dating, in friendship, in life. So I do think I'm quite wise, but also I don't like fully. I basically posted on my Instagram an anonymous little forum thing where you can put in your questions that are like situations that you need advice on, and we're going to go through quite a lot of them. I've got some juicy ones. And each week we're going to just make another cocktail really, I guess, just so I can sit and have some liquid courage. Gonna make a mocktail each week. No alcohol on this channel. However, in true Tia fashion, I wanted to make a mojito for my first cocktail, right? Because I was like, okay, I love a mojito. I can really imagine like crushing this little basil while I'm answering some questions. I can't believe I'm sat there saying that mojito is my favourite cocktail, and I've just had the audacity to say basil and not mint. But I'm a little bit skint and I'm going to a festival this weekend, and I was like, I don't really think I can justify paying like however much money for the ingredients. So what I've decided to do instead is just find every ingredient I've got in my cupboard and I'm going to just make my own cocktail. Wish me luck. So what I have got is lemonade, peach schnapps. I've got about a slither of cranberry juice. It might be out of date. Should give it a whiff. I actually found some grenadine, which, that sounds quite fun. I've also got some gin and this really cute little pineapple shaker. Looks a bit dirty. Okay, I'm back and I bring a little table. It's a very dusty table, Christ. Let's get into it. First, a little dilemma. Two of my best friends recently got together, which is great for them, but recently they've been inviting me out with them because we always used to hang out as a trio. But now I can't shake the feeling that I'm a third wheel and the dynamic is just different. How do I get out of these situations without being rude about it? Low-key, I find them so boring and it's just not that fun anymore. To be honest, it's definitely dirty. Should I just put it in anyways? I don't even know what you're supposed to put in a shaker. Like, do you just put everything in the shaker? You know what's really crazy? I literally used to work in a bar for years and I used to make cocktails. But like, you know when like you do something for ages but like no, it's like Pythagoras. When I left school, I did not recall a single piece of maths in my brain. Okay, that's not a lot of eyes. Like, I feel like I just left every single piece of information, just left my brain. And that's the same with cocktail making. Oh god. I think I'm gonna put the cranberry juice in the cocktail. I think that sounds like something that you would do. And some gin. Anyways, I personally think that your friends are potentially just inviting you because they don't want you to feel left out, which is actually lovely that it's lovely that they're doing that, because I mean they probably do want some alone time, but they're probably also thinking like, oh sugar, like we've just full on mixed up this friendship group and now poor Jenny is going to be left out because it's two are kissing and she's not. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, so they're probably inviting you because they don't want you to think anything's changed. Obviously in your head obviously it has changed. So I would just say to them, next time they ask you out, just say, guys, you know what, actually I'm gonna let you have some alone time. Let's say they say like, oh we're gonna go to cinema, like are you coming? Then they're like, oh no, that sounds like a super cute date, why don't you two just go and I'll see yous tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Just play dumb, like, oh my god, don't be daft, like you two go and enjoy yourselves, like, you know, kind of thing. And they'll probably be thankful that you are being sound about it, because it is a weird thing if your friends like you've been friends with forever just suddenly start dating and then you feel like you kind of like one shot of vodka. I actually don't want a lot, it's like literally 11 o'clock in the morning. And also if you kind of just let them do their own thing now, if anything, touch wood, happens with them and they break up or whatever, because you've not been super invested with them as a couple, it won't come on to you. Okay, if I put anything else in there, should I put some peach schnapps in there? I don't know whether peach schnapps and gin goes. There's not an actual vodka shot size. See what that tastes like? Trying to get over a month-long situationship, but he apologised just as I was getting over it, and now I'm back to hoping something will happen even though he doesn't care about me. Oh, right, okay, right. There was a boy in my life who, I shall not name names, let's call him Fred, right? Fred, okay? He actually ruined my life. Like, he actually really ruined my life. He was someone who, oh God, I just, every single time I managed to get over him and just get him out of my head, he popped back up. And then literally within a second I was like, and it happened every single time for literally years. I wouldn't hear from him for 6 months, right? I'd do some really inner work on myself, and then suddenly, like, I'd get a phone call like, hey, and I was like, why are you haying me? But then I'd say hey back, and then suddenly I was back straight at it. I couldn't get over him because there was always the thought that we were going to be together, because he used to always message me. Like, there was never, the longest we didn't speak was about 6 months, and he was still, even then I thought, okay, I finally got rid of him, this is it, I'm over it, let's get over it. Then he messaged me again, and I was like, oh my God, like, this boy literally is the worst. And then you start convincing yourself like, oh, well, if he didn't like me, then he wouldn't pop up all the time, and he wouldn't come back in, and he wouldn't try again after so many months, or blah blah blah. But like, please, 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 right, for someone who it did take me so long to get over this stupid boy, right? The silliest, most boring and basic piece of advice, but that I think just really, really resonated with me, was that, like, if he wanted to talk to me, he would talk to me all the time. He wouldn't just randomly message me every 6 months when he was bored, every 3 months, every so often. I sometimes think that some people really just want to know that you're still there and that they've still got you, and they want you as a backup. And he was doing whatever he was doing, going off with whoever, blah blah blah, and maybe that didn't work out, and then he would be like, okay, let's check to see whether I've still got Tia, just as like as a backup. And then I'd reply and I'd be like, oh yeah, like Fred, and then he'd be like, okay, she's still there, I'll continue doing my own thing, and then hopefully she'll be there next time. And then I was, and because I was always there, he just took major advantage of it, and you can't be there. The best piece of advice to give you is do not reply. I know he's apologised, but if you feel like he doesn't care about you, then he doesn't. As simple as that. It's very obvious when someone cares about you. It's like, you know, when you feel cared for, and when you feel loved for, and when you feel like someone's excited about speaking to you and being with you and blah blah. And even though he's apologised, you deserve so much more than that. Like, you deserve so much more than that. We all deserve so much more than that. We deserve someone who isn't going to be in a situationship and pie us off, and then come back and pie us off, and then like just act like we're not asked about us, because like, life's so short. Why waste your time on silly little boys who don't care, when there's probably bloody Bob out there who would die to be with you, but you'll never meet him if you're still hoping something's going to happen with Fred. I feel like none of that made sense. It made sense in my head. Sometimes I say loads of words and then just really, I can't like string them together, but I hope that you get what I mean. You've got to kind of change it where it's like, okay, situationship, he wasn't that bothered about me in the first place if it was situationship, because if he wanted to wipe you off, he would wipe you off. It's as simple as that. 2, he let you get over it and then came kind of back to apologise, but he's still shown that he doesn't care about you. So all of those things show that he's just like not really a nice person. Basic niceness. Oh, this ice is gonna melt. Should I shake it? Oh, ah! On like the 10th video I do of this, I'll be doing all those crazy like, woo, like the cup. This isn't like one of those really interesting scenarios everyone has. Don't sell yourself short, I bet it's a lovely question. But I literally like revise 2 days before every exam, and now I'm absolutely shitting myself and can't sleep. I need prayers to be sent. Also, any advice on stress and anxiety leading up to something. So, how do I do this now, by the way? Oh, can I not? I think this head comes off. Maybe it doesn't. I wanted to like pour it off. Oh, does this come off? Oh no, I just broke it. Shit. Oh no, I broke it. Oh my god, I can't. No. Ah! Right, you know what? It is what it is. Okay, should I use one of those sieves? A sieve might work. Okay, I will actually pray for you. I can do the Lord's Prayer in Spanish, so I can do that for you if you like. You know... Oh, this is not frothy at all. and I thought there was gonna be like loads of froth. What the hell? I'm sure that's what I used to do. Not that with a sieve, but something similar. And I've also got this where let's use this horrible minging kitchen thing. At least I'm myself online. You probably should have advised more, okay? Let's just give me some tough love. You probably should have, but you didn't. So you can't dwell, okay? You literally can't dwell. What's done is done, okay? The thing that I always say to myself, I'm actually like a massively stressy person, but also I'm like one of those people who I stress a lot in my brain, but I'm like also so relaxed. I'm literally may as well be horizontal. I might panic in my brain, but I don't do anything to like relieve the stress. Like I'm not like one of those people who's like, oh my god, like ah. I'm just kind of like, it is what it is. In my head I'm like, oh. I'm kind of like that kind of thing. So when I'm doing this in my head, the thing that I say to myself to make myself feel a little bit better is, what is stressing actually gonna do? I think the thing with stressing and worrying about something, what you're worrying about is the outcome, aren't you? Like, you obviously, there's a good sign that you care about something enough to worry about the outcome, and that's why you stress about something. One of the biggest things that's going to affect an outcome of something is stressing, because I know that when I stress, I don't perform as well. My brain is too filled with stressful anxiety kind of thoughts, so I can't concentrate fully on what I'm doing. The outcome is going to happen no matter whether you stress or not. What will be. It is what it is. I used to do this with sleep, so I know it's not the same kind of thing, but if everyone knows me, I'm really bad at sleeping. I've got like a whole thing with sleep. Sleep makes me feel really panicked and stressed. Like, we used to lie in bed and I'd literally write this for hours and I'd be stressing about the fact that I couldn't get to sleep. And I was like, oh, if I can't get sleep, like, I'm gonna be like up all day tomorrow and I'll be really tired and I'll be really miserable because I've not slept and blah blah, and oh my god, if I go to sleep now I'll have 3 hours, I'll get 3 hours sleep. If I don't go to sleep now I'm only gonna have 2 hours sleep. Like, these are my thoughts all during the night, right? And it kept me awake because I was stressing about it so much. Whereas I was like, if I can't get to sleep, I'm gonna not be able to sleep whether I'm stressing or not. So surely I'd rather just be awake and chilled than awake and stressing. Does that make sense? If I'm gonna be awake, I'd probably rather just stick on Friends and chill than stare at the ceiling, stressing about the fact that I can't sleep, then probably not get to sleep even more. Oh, it gives you suggestions of cocktails you can make with it, and nothing says gin. Oh well, let's just add it in for the shits and gigs. And we're gonna be able to find a straw like this. Hell yeah. So I've been seeing a guy for a few months now and he's lovely, but then just isn't there. Do I discuss it with him or just hope it improves with time? I feel like this is completely down to personal opinion. I know one of my friends would be like, nah, like if it's not there, it's not there. I think it depends how important like time is to you. For me, it's not really that important. Like, I'm not like I could probably live without it. Like, I'm not. Okay, so what I would do if I was you, if I was in the situation, okay, I've met this boy, I've been with him for a few months and I really liked him, but I just couldn't find the sexy chemistry. Let's say you want, oh god, I really hate talking about this kind of thing. Let's say there's some certain things that you would like him to do or be like in the bedroom. If I put something in the photo and let's say I was with a boy and he hated the way I was in that situation, if that boy sat me down and said, look, it's not there, I don't like how you're doing it, like, can you do this, this, this and this? I think I'd think about that conversation every single night before bed and it would slightly ruin my life. Like, I don't think I'm like confident enough to deal with that conversation. Like, that conversation would really freak me out and I think it'd make me really upset, and I think then when we did end up going into doing it, I'd just be thinking about it too much and it would kind of ruin it for me. So personally, I wouldn't have the conversation. What I would do, this could be wrong, but I think in my brain it sounds like a really good idea. You know when you're like getting like hot and steamy in like conversations arise sometimes, if you're in that kind of thing, like you can be a bit like saucy and say like, oh god, I'm so sorry mom and dad if you're watching this. Okay, let's say it in a really PG way. Let's say you wanted him to kiss your cheek, right? But he never kisses your cheek in the sexy surrounding of a setting in a room, in like a sexy voice. You say like, oh, kiss your cheek. that would probably like get him excited. Like I think that would probably be like, oh yeah, like a bit of talk, do you know what I mean? And then if you just keep on doing that every time you have a sexy time, he'll soon gather like what you like, because you keep on obviously like kind of saying it during it, but not in like a, will you kiss my cheek please? Like freaking hell, Bob, like why aren't you kissing my cheek? Like don't do it like that. Be more like you know the way I mean, okay, I'm not gonna have to recreate the tone. It's not being in that awkward situation of having to sit him down and saying, well, like, I want you to do this, like, I don't really find this sexy, like, please don't, like, do you know what I mean, like, that kind of thing. I would try that. If it still doesn't improve, then maybe you need to think about it on a more, like, serious note, and whether it's something that you'd want to kind of deal with forever. Right, okay, I think it's time to try this horrendous cocktail. Imagine it's actually really nice, like, I could make this a thing. That's banging. Oh my god! If I got served that at a bar, I'd be buzzing. It tastes like juice. You know they're putting a vodka in? It literally tastes like juice. Like this is actually the nicest thing I've ever had in my life. It's not, but it's like close. God, I'm buzzing. YouTube, don't delete this video, please. It's non-alcoholic. Let me repeat. It's non-alcoholic. How to accept a relationship ending and him not taking me back after trying so many times to ask for him back. I'm going to say something that's got me out of so many different sad times, okay, to do with boys. It goes down to me kind of being like a hopeless romantic, I guess. Deep down in there somewhere, I'm slightly a hopeless romantic. I always just imagine when there's been a boy who's not been treating me right, or someone I've been interested in and they've just not given me the time of day, like blah blah blah. I always think, in the future, let's imagine you've had this relationship, it's ended, and you've been begging for him back, and he says no, he doesn't want to get back with you, so you keep on asking him, he just keeps on saying no, might start getting a little bit nasty about it, you just feel like really sad because he just obviously doesn't want to get back with you and you really love him, blah blah. Let's say a few months go by and you still keep asking for him back, and you're begging and you're feeling crap about yourself, and he's like arguing and he's ignoring you, and things get really really bad, and then finally he is like, okay, fine, we'll get back together. And then you stay together, you have a kid, blah, 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 blah. I know this is a bit of a long-winded thing that I think of, but then let's imagine the kid gets a bit older, right? And the kid's like, oh, mummy, like, tell me the story of you and daddy, right? Like, how did you get married and blah, 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 like, how did you get together? And you have to sit down to your kid and say, oh, well, mummy and daddy met at the pub and we had a good year, and then daddy broke up with mummy, and mummy was really, really sad for a year, begging for him back, and daddy wanted nothing to do with mummy, but mummy kept on asking and kept on persevering until one day she cracked daddy, and daddy finally got back with her, and then we had you. That's just like not the love story I want for myself. I know real life is not like the movies and the stories and stuff. There can be reasons as to why you just can't be together. But if he just does not want to be with you, do you want to be with someone who at one point didn't want to be with you? Like, no, like you want to be with someone who always wants to be with you, and even if there is things that kind of get in the way, it's not them just not wanting to be with you, it's because you can't be together. I think it's different if, let's say, he moved away and you just couldn't be together, but he still really loved you and stuff, and if that was the reason, then I kind of get that, because it's not something personal. But if he just doesn't want to be with you, there's something that's making him feel like that, and that's always going to be on your mind. Leave him be, go party, it's hot girl summer, try and get over him. Sometimes when you pull away, they often come crawling back to you. It's happened so many times with me. Like, I actually thought I had a bit of a curse at one point. Don't ask for him back anymore, okay? It's not worth it, he's not worth it. Go do some shots, go make a tea or cocktail, and you'll get through it, I pinky promise. My boyfriend has been hiding messages from his ex, and she was at the top of his best friends list on Snapchat and saved as a fake name. We've only been together for 6 months. I don't know whether this is a sign to just part ways, so I know people don't change and just be on my own, or forgive him and let it go as he's apologised and wants to gain my trust back. What would you do? Dump his ass. Oh my god, dump his ass. There is absolutely no excuse. You know what, right? Sometimes people can break up and be on good terms, okay? It's a thing. Like, you can't be friends with your... I know people say you can't be friends with your exes, but I actually think not friends with your exes, but you can be friendly with your exes. You can't be friends. Let's say they've been together for 7 years and like they're really invested in each other's family and stuff, and like the dog dies, like, and you're gonna message them and say like, I hope your dog's like, I hope the dog's obviously not okay because the dog's dead, but like you want to say like, oh, I hope you're okay. I personally think that's fine. I know some people disagree with that, but I personally think that's okay. Like I think like we're mature enough to understand that like some things are more important than like history. Anyways, besides the point. If you're in a new relationship, you should relay that to your partner. So let's say, right, Bruno the dog dies, okay, and Connell, your ex-boyfriend, is really sad about it. You see it on Instagram, blah blah blah, and then you used to be really close with Bruno the dog, and then you're like, I want to message Connell about Bruno. I feel like I'm a bit of a dick if I don't, but also don't want to upset Arthur, our current boyfriend. Just tell Arthur, just say, look, just gonna let you know, I'm gonna message blah blah blah. Okay, I can't remember what name I used, Connell, I think it was. I'm gonna message Connell about this. Hope it's okay. If it's not, then tough titties. I've told you about it, and like I think that's all they deserve, really. Like, I think as long as you're kind of honest with them and stuff. So it's not so much the fact that he spoke to her. It's the fact that he's changed the name. That you know that he knows it's wrong if the name is being changed. Because if in his mind it was all innocent and there was no ulterior motive and there was nothing funky getting talked about, blah blah blah, he wouldn't change the name. He would just be honest with you. But he's changed the name because he's got. Oh my god, dump his ass. You do not deserve that. Should I stop talking to a guy who says he doesn't want a relationship, even though he still asks me to go on dates? Not even for sex, literally just for cute little activities. I really like him, but knowing nothing is going to come of it is making me question, am I wasting my time? But I will love you lots, love you so much more. I had this situation, different guy, okay, it's a different person, God Tia, woohoo. There was this guy who I was seeing, and he was like the first person, even though he was like not my first boyfriend, he was just a boy I was seeing, he was probably the first person I had actually like genuine feelings for. And I really liked him, and he would invite me on little dates. He like introduced me to all of his friends, his family, and it was nothing saucy. I just had somewhere in the back of my mind, I was like, I know that you're gonna do me over, so I'm not gonna like go there. Do you know what I mean? Which is probably should have been a red flag anyways, the fact that I even knew that. We'd FaceTime every day, we'd text 24/7, he'd phone me on the way to work, on the way back from work. Like it was quite like a deep-ish, well I thought it was quite a deep connection. And he just kept on telling me that he didn't want a relationship. But because he was doing all these like lovely things, like picking me up, and he had my favourite drink in the car and would go for a really fun, cute date, and I would have a sleepover and he wouldn't expect anything. I was like, wow, this guy obviously really, really likes me. Yeah, he said he doesn't want a relationship, but maybe he's just missing out the yet. Doesn't want a relationship yet. If a boy tells you they don't want a relationship, they don't want a relationship. I think one of the easiest pieces of advice is with dealing with boys and girls and whoever, like just your partner or someone you're seeing, take what they say literally. It saves a lot of time. I think sometimes, I know I do, someone will say something to me and I'll think of all the ways that it could be interpreted. If I just interpret it the way they're saying it, I'd save myself a lot of heartache and time. Do you know what I mean? Like if someone says to me, I don't want a relationship, then why am I wasting my time? I do, so therefore I'm not going to bother. His actions are different to his words. I was convinced that he was going to want to be in a relationship at some point, he just wasn't ready yet. And I started convincing myself that I didn't want a relationship. When I did, I'm not the kind of person who is just going to like fling around. I'm just not like that. But I convinced myself, I was like, oh yeah, like, this is fun, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't. It got to the point where I got really upset and he was like, but I told you I didn't want a relationship, so why are you crying for? And I was like, he's right. Like he literally told me he didn't want a relationship, and he did nothing wrong. I mean, he did, he was seeing someone behind my back the whole time, however. Anyways, different story for another time. If I had just listened to actually what he'd said, then I wouldn't have been that upset. Well, he deserves someone who does want to be in a relationship, he doesn't want to just wipe you off straight away and just like grab you and make you theirs. My best friend of 20 years has decided she no longer wants to be my friend anymore and has completely cut me out of her life, but won't tell me what I've done wrong, and none of my other friends will tell me either. I think friendships at this age are so hard because you make friends in school, primary school, secondary school, uni, blah blah blah. You're friends with people because they're there. You get such good friendships because you see each other every day. You're on the same courses, you're in each other's classes, like you see each other all the time, you're in the same friend group. As you start getting older and everyone starts doing this, it's a lot harder to maintain friendships because you're not seeing each other every day. You've got no reason really to see each other unless you put in both the effort. So as soon as one person stops putting in effort, you just start doing this. If she's decided she no longer wants to be your friend anymore and it's really bothering you, and you've said to her, like, what's the crack, like, why don't you want to be my friend anymore, and you've sat her down and said, like, look, I want to, please, like, just talk to me, like, I want a conversation, like, if I've done something wrong, like, if I've done something to offend you or hurt you or blah blah, because I'd love to, like, obviously we've been friends for so long, I'd love to sort it out. If you've done all of that and she's still not telling you, you've done everything that you could, and I think it's probably time for a step back, even though it's as awful as it is. But therefore the ball is then in her court, because you've asked her, you've done everything you can, you've tried to resolve it, and if she doesn't want to resolve it, then you don't want to be your friend anyways. So accept that maybe you're just growing apart, and you can focus on your other friends who do want to be friends with you, and I'll be your friend. I'll make you a horrendous cocktail. You know, it's actually a good cocktail. I'm drinking it fast. Oh my god. I slept with my dad's new girlfriend on a night out before they met. Do I tell him? That's like the weirdest situation ever. And how old is this woman? Oh my god, you have, if you don't tell him, it'll come out later on down the line. And you gotta think of it in the other way. If you met a girl, okay, and your dad had slept with her, okay, before, you would want to know that, okay? You don't want to be having sexy time with someone who's shared relations with your parent, so that your parent wouldn't want to do that with the kid. You have to just tell them. I'm sorry, I know it's a really awkward situation, but you have to tell them. Oh no, how do I stop my boyfriend's mom walking in on us? But I can't look her in the eyes anymore. Love you, Michelle, but please stop. Okay, right, so what you gotta do is door closed. If your boyfriend has got, I don't know, this is like horrendous advice, if your boyfriend's got one of those things over the door, like you like hang your dressing gown that on, right, or you're getting saucy, tip all of that off it, okay? So it's like on the floor in front of the door, but it doesn't look like you've put it there on, you haven't like moved the drawers in front of the door. It buys you time, okay? So then if anyone starts to, oh, John, like, do you want a cup of tea? But she can't open the door because there's something on the floor. That gives you some extra seconds to, whoop, that could be a good one to do. Or if you're less of a pussy than me, I would get your boyfriend to say something to your mum. I don't think it's up to you to deal with this. It should be your boyfriend who has a conversation with his mum about it. She can't just wander in whenever she wants. Like, she's a grown-ass woman. Like, I feel like some mums are so weird with their sons. Like, why do they do that? My first boyfriend's mum was like that, and I was like, oh my god, like, Pauline, like, what? You like, please leave us alone for 3 minutes. I don't want a slice of toast. Like, please get out. Okay, laptop down, questions done. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed this kind of video. It is going to be a regular thing, so I bloody hope you do like it, because I'm really excited about it. So please don't ruin my vibe. Please comment any feedback if you like something, don't like something, would rather something else. I love you all. Stay safe, have a good life, eat your vegetables, and have a hot girl summer, have a hot boy summer, have a hot life, yeah. Goodbye!